Logan.
Yep.
Now we've found our stride. Keep it going, yes? Well done.
Yeah. Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ingrediology. Today, for our Wednesday weeknight dinner, we are going to be making a very mushroomy meatloaf. Hello to those of you in chat. It's great to see you, M. Luck, Johan Borschen Friends, Tef Banow, Snake Eye DIY. I know we have 2 viewers over here on Tastemade already. Sound off in the chat. If you're here, tell us where you're from. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. It's great to have you. If you're a new guest, my name's Logan. This is Ingrediology. I'm a Denver chef here in Colorado, and I've been a chef instructor for about 5.5, going on 6 years. Here now, working in restaurants previously. I've taught a lot of different classes, and you are viewing our online version of Ingrediology. Well, online version of Ingrediology. That's the only version of Ingrediology. I guess I've taught IRL for 4 years previous. Either way, I'm here to answer your questions and guide you through this delicious meatloaf that we're going to be making this evening. That is our Mushroom-y Meatloaf. That's going to have a meatloaf that's chocked full of different kinds of mushrooms and onions and garlic. We're going to be putting a gravy over the top. That's right. Leave that ketchup, brown sugar, and bacon back in the cupboard, okay? We're not using it today. That's crap. I've never liked that kind of meatloaf since I was a child, and this is what I prefer to serve. This is an umami bomb of a beef and mushroom gravy. We're gonna be making a roux, sauteing onions and mushrooms for that gravy, and then accompanying all of this with some creamy mashed potatoes and peas. Just keeping it simple, keeping it classic today. I know this might not be the most inspiring menu that you could possibly think of, but this is a staple for dinners here in my kitchen, and I'd be remiss if I didn't go over it with you, at least my version of it with you guys today. So how we doing, guys? What's up? Anybody have some fun news this week? Logan, that link is broken. Okay. I will check out the link. All right. And Tastemade people, feel free to chime in throughout the class. I try and keep a good eye here on the chat box. There is a lot of things going on. We do stream out over Facebook and YouTube and Tastemade and Twitch all simultaneously, so I'm managing 5 different chat boxes, and I will be sure to get to your comment, okay? There we go. Oh, the link for Tastemade is not working. Interesting. Okay, I will write that down, and we will get it all fixed up, all right? Let's see. Ugh, what is that? I just looked over at my stand mixer and I pulled this off the side of it. It's like, it looks like a piece of gum, and it's stainless. Well, it's not stainless, but it's metal, so it sticks to the side of things. This is a refrigerator magnet. They got me. I thought someone had put gum back on my mixer. Well, if anybody's putting gum on it, it's gonna be me. I chew the gum here in the house. Call me Chef G. Can we get a shout out, please, for Call Me Chef G, a fellow Twitch streamer here on the platform, a wonderful person. G, how you been? I hope your week's going well. Make sure you give her a follow over on her channel, everybody. She is amazing. We're gonna be doing something fun here in June for her birthday that we've been talking about recently. Are you guys ready? Oh, I made piri-piri seasoned pork belly. Oh, that sounds delightful. I didn't see that in the Discord, Luck, but that sounds amazing. Hi, Fred, you look great. Thank you, G, I appreciate you. Right back at you. I've not been around Twitch very much, but I'm sure you look great as well. You always do. Always out there killing it. But yeah, what are you making next on stream? Chris, welcome. Happy to see ya. Greetings from Colorado out to San Diego, my friend. Rosemary spatchcock chicken was amazeballs. Good. Good, I'm glad you liked it. Do you have any pictures? Did you tag us on Instagram? But that's great. I'm glad you guys made the recipe and enjoyed it. Awesome. And Chris, I messaged you. I know that we messaged offline a little bit about this, but the April 9th, that's going to be Saturday, April 9th, we are planning a special subscriber-only cooking class that's going to be hosted in a video chat, all right? So I'm not sure if it's going to be Discord or Zoom yet, but April 9th, we are going to be making chicken tinga tostadas. Chris, I think this is the first time you're hearing about this because I didn't message you. But I'm working on the menu packet right now. So if you'd like to attend that class, a little bit more of an intimate setting because I'm going to be able to hear you guys via video chat. It's not going to be going out publicly over our live stream channels. This is just for members only, people who subscribe on Ko-Fi or Twitch or Tastemade. I will be sending the link out to. So if you subscribe at that $5 a month level to help make everything that you see going on here possible, buy groceries, website hosting fees, my thank you to you is hosting a private cooking class for you. So look out for that here in the coming days. We're gonna be posting that link and you guys can sign up for it. All right, cool. Thank you again to all of our supporters. I'm good, thank you. And yes, I'm very excited and still so much to do. I know. There's a lot of planning going on. Let me know if you need anything. I'm around, you know. It got eaten too fast. The bacon, the pork belly got eaten too fast. I mean, just piri pork belly. Sounds amazing. I can't imagine why we get eaten so fast. All right, guys, we need to jump into our class because we do have people following along over here on Tastemade who do plan on cooking with us. And if you would like to cook along with us at home, you can go to ingrediology.org, seek out the class guides tab, and then select our Mushroom-y Meatloaf class guide. That will bring up an equipment list, a shopping list, all the recipes we're going to be making today, nutritional information, all sorts of stuff. It's in metric, it's in US, it's in Celsius, it's in Fahrenheit. It's a very usable plugin for our recipes that we use. So yeah, just make sure you got all the ingredients. Go over your equipment list if you are planning on cooking with us. Make sure you have everything ready to go. I've done a lot of mise en place and getting things set up around the kitchen, as you can see. Maybe not there, but we got a bunch of pots and pans out, and then we got more pots and pans over here, and I got all sorts of stuff ready and raring to go. I hope you are too. Also, if you want to go visit that class guide I was talking about, hit !recipe, !menu in chat, and that will spit out the link for this particular class. All right. Also, one more quick plug. I posted like 3 more class guides that we're going to be doing here in April. Our creme brulee, our saucy samosas. If you guys have ever had samosas, we're going to be doing a class on that in April. And I forget the other one that I'm working on, but those are also on the site and live, and we'll be listing those on Tastemade here soon enough. The first thing we're going to do for our meatloaf is mince up our onions and our garlic that we need to get sauteed along with our mushrooms in a pan before we add this all and mix it into the meat. Taking a look at our mise en place here. Sorry, if I switch over too quick. There we go. I don't think it'll do that again. All right, that was just super slow. Here is the ingredients we're going to be using in our meatloaf. As I mentioned, the first thing we're going to be starting on is going to be chopping up our mushrooms, our 1 yellow onion, and our 2 cloves of garlic that we have out here. This is 4 ounces of cremini mushrooms, by the way. We have 2 pounds of ground 80/20 beef ready to go, 1/4 cup of breadcrumb, 1/4 cup of whole milk. We have 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper, 1.5 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt, nailed it this time. And then we have our dried seasoning. This is going to be 1/2 teaspoon of ground oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of ground sage, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground rosemary, all here in our ramekin. And we're just going to add that into the mix. Get your knife out, get your cutting board ready to go, and we are off to the races. Made the wedges from last week using sweet potatoes and Chinese 5-spice. Salting didn't draw out as much moisture, but still yummy. That's awesome, Drew. Thank you for reporting back on how those sweet potato wedges went. I know you asked me the other week, like, how would this work with sweet potatoes? I'm like, I've never done it with sweet potatoes. So I'm glad that it turned out deliciously. Were they crispy? Were they well crisp? I'm curious about that. Let me know. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. Okay, back down here on the board. Let's grab that chef's knife out. Kathy F. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Kathy. We have our mushrooms. Cremini mushrooms are going to be minced up, chopped finely, okay? And then I'm going to take off some of these more overgrown ends of the stem. Sometimes they're just dried out. I'm just going to trim the bottom of them here real quick. And we're then going to slice these, and after they're all thinly sliced, we'll take our knife and run them through a couple of times, okay? Host Jess Josie cooking along today. That's awesome, Jess. That is fantastic news. Feel free to stop me if you have questions, shout out. If I'm not responding because I'm doing something or I'm just too ADD to look at the chat, please grab one of the mods and they'll make sure that your question is seen. Okay? I want to make sure that everything goes well for you. Gonna expand my bandwidth. Guys, it is about 9 days until Tef Banau arrives in the United States. and is hanging out here with us and our family. How cool is that? Teff's making his first trip to the United States, and he asked if it was cool that he came and stayed with us out here in Colorado. And I was like, absolutely, dude. Teff has been one of our very, I think it was within the first 2 or 3 weeks of me streaming back in 2020 that Teff popped into chat, and he's been a mainstay and a mod ever since. So I'm really excited to get to meet him in person. I can't wait for your trip, Teff. Now, since these are all sliced, I'm just going to go back over this and cut them again. And then we'll go into mincing mode. We just want little bits of mushrooms. Now, I have made mushroom meatloafs in the past. Oh, Deirdre says crispy on the edges but soft in the middle. Good. I mean, that's what you want, right? You want a nice steaky potato but has crispy edges. I'm gonna have to try that out. Did you just switch out the sweet potatoes and then add a little Chinese 5-spice in with the mix before you baked them, Deirdre? Link still doesn't work. Well, I haven't fixed the link yet. I'm not here fixing the link. I'm chopping mushrooms, as you can tell. No link fixing going on. Can I get a shout out though for Snake Eye DIY and Teff Bana, who both stream here on Twitch? Can I get an itchy nose today? That stinks when you're on stream. Don't be touching your nose cooking food anyways. Fix the link, Mr. Greedy. Keith, you got a girlfriend? Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Keith out here getting some love. Getting his love on. Getting his romance going. I'm trying to fix the link. Teff's working from the back end getting things done. All right. Now, a mince technically is pieces the size of a grain of lime. Yes, and I didn't use garlic, says Deirdre. All right, cool. So you nixed the garlic, you added Chinese 5-spice, and then you swapped out the russet potatoes for sweet potatoes. All right. Cool. All right. We're going to put these back into the bowl from whence they came. And then we need to move on to mincing our onion. I'm trying to get our meatloaf in the oven as soon as possible, guys, because the total cooking time for our meatloaf is going to be right about an hour. Speaking of which, I also need to preheat our oven. Make sure you got some towels handy, guys, so you can clean up your station as you go. There we go. Try that link, Snake Eye, you problem child. More accurate. A more accurate statement I've never heard. Snake Eye is a problem child. So Snake Eye, you posted that picture on the Discord that you're going to be making those beer smoking tops or whatever. Did you need an entire bed of a pickup truck full of wood to make this 3-inch round disc? How many are you making? You making 2,000 of these things? Sorry guys, I'm checking the temp on our oven. I'm pretty sure it's 350, but it is 350. So there we go. Boom. 350, oven is preheating. Make sure if you're cooking along at home, just Deirdre, that you will preheat your oven now, all right? Don't want to be going into a cold oven. That's going to slow us down even more. Back down on the board, we have our onion. We have our onion laid out here, which we need to small dice. So I'm just going to take off the stem end and thinly slice the root end, cut it in half through the onion, and then give it a peel. It works, but now you're on double secret probation. Did Teff just get shadow banned? I think I'm seeing everything through featured chat. What else is new, guys? We're just gonna do a quick rainbow cut here. Colonel Salty Dog, thank you for coming back in here with the sub. I appreciate you, Roland. You're awesome. Okay. Make sure I'm not ignoring Taste Made. good. Tastemade looks to be all caught up. Who else is joining us here in Tastemade? A bunch of silent people. Silent people sitting over here. All right, let's do the second half of our onion. Same thing, rainbow cut, going all the way around, making thin slices, leaving the root end intact. This is the drink smoker if anybody's interested. Yes, that's right, Snake Eye's making a drink smoker. That's what he's calling it. It's not just for drink smokers, but I did get a pickup full of wood. You did? Okay, good. So that's not the only thing you intend on making with like that 1,000 pound of wood that you brought back to your house. I mean, only if you were really intending to go into the drink smoking business would I expect you to make that many. All right, we've got our onion over here. And before I start mincing my garlic, I'm going to start heating up my saute pan that I have over here on the stove. This pan that I'm not even aiming the camera at. Let's back this off a little bit, because last time on stream, my camera overheated and stopped working, so I'm gonna be sure to give it a good amount of space this time. All right, so make sure you have a saute pan out, because we are going to be taking our onions and mushrooms and garlic and sauteing that before adding it into all of our meatloaf mixture over here. EBT Chef, definitely not Johan. Hey, good to see you, Johan. Thanks for joining us over on YouTube. And to our YouTube and Facebook viewers, hello, hi, welcome. I'm not seeing too many of you chatting, but my name's Logan. Welcome to our Wednesday weeknight dinner. Onions are minced up, and I'm slightly tearing up. Here we go, clean as you go, right? Get this onion skin out of here. Did I change to all clad? Oh, you mean like with the pans, Colonel? No, I didn't change to all clad. I think this is a Cuisinart. Yeah, this is Cuisinart down here. Cuisinart. Every pot on the stove right now is Cuisinart. That's what we got going. All right. Someone has a lot of VPNs. I need to get VPN. I need to get on that. I don't know if it would mess with my streaming or not. Oh, I was telling you that over here on the stove, I'm going to set my heat on low underneath this pan that we're going to saute everything in. That way it's warmed up by the time we need to go in with our butter and garlic and whatnot. Well, not butter, our oil and our garlic. So we're just going to pop these things with our knife and then peel the skin off of our garlic cloves. This is 2 garlic cloves we're going to be using here, everybody. Take off the root end, thin as you like. I thought so. Snake Eye, you were forever a pub. I will be opening a Ko-Fi store selling drink smokers, bottle openers, grill scrapers, gnocchi boards, and coffee filter holders when I get enough stock to open a store. That's awesome, Snake Eye. Well, let us know the link, and when you go live with that, we'll definitely talk about it here on stream. The delay between Twitch and YouTube is interesting. Is YouTube lagging behind Twitch, Johan? Speaking of Ko-Fi, everybody, Snake Eye just brought up that he's going to be starting a Ko-Fi. We actually already have our own Ko-Fi page, so to those of you who would like to help make the stream possible, supporting us with our website hosting fees and groceries and, you know, the Adobe stuff I got to pay for and all that, you can go over there and help make the show possible. I'd really appreciate it. I have the link down there at the bottom of the screen. And any and everything is welcome. You can make a one-time donation or have a recurring monthly subscription. It's up to you. And like I said, as a bonus for signing up as one of our subscribers, we will be hosting a private live stream for just our subscribers here on Saturday, April 9th. We're going to be making chicken tinga tostadas on stream. Well, actually not on stream, just in that private party. That's just for you subs, all right? Anybody who subscribes via Tastemade or Ko-Fi or Twitch. I'm sorry, Ko-fi is pronounced like coffee or no-fi, by the way. Ko-fi. So it's Ko-fi, not Ko-fi. Well, they shouldn't spell like Wi-Fi. Wo-fi? Yes, by about 2 minutes. YouTube is delayed by 2 minutes to Twitch. Really? It's a whole 2 minutes. That's crazy, Johan. I didn't know it was that long. All right, so with our minced garlic, we're gonna return this to the ramekin from whence it came. Boop. Boop. And then we gotta get a little bit of oil down here in our saute pan that we've been warming up. Just a tablespoon of neutrally flavored oil. I'm using corn today. You could use canola, vegetable oil, whatever you'd like. Sauteing is a high heat cooking process done in a small amount of oil, which is exactly what we're doing here. So, being high heat, I'm taking my heat from low, and I'm gonna kick that up to high. And then once my oil is shimmering in the pan, then I'm gonna add in my onions and my mushrooms. Facebook is a solid 8 seconds behind. 5 seconds on desktop. I love all the stream health guidelines you're giving me, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the support. It's Meggie. Is Meggie here? Where's Meggie? Tef, I can't believe I get to see you in real life soon. See, that's what I was talking about before you got on stream, Meg. Tef's gonna be out here in like, what? A little over a week. A week and like 2 days. Whew. Now, while this is sauteing, everybody, we're going to combine our breadcrumb and, well, not that one. We're going to combine our breadcrumb and our milk that's going to be in our meatloaf. Let me get a small ramekin out for that. All right, so what this is a quarter cup of whole milk and a quarter cup of plain breadcrumbs. We're gonna combine these together to give the time for our breadcrumbs to absorb our milk, but this is known as a panada. A panada is anything that helps retain moisture inside of a meat product. So for instance, rice can be a panada, potatoes can be a panada, eggs can also be a panada, breadcrumb and milk, this is an example of a panada. And what that does, the breadcrumbs will hold on to the milk, whereas the meat, as it cooks, as it gets more cooked, will release that moisture along with the fat into the pan. And so the breadcrumbs help hold that into our meat mixture. It will absorb some of the moisture also released by the beef itself, and just help to keep this more, you know what I'm saying, the M word. I'm not allowed to say the M word on stream, per Meggie. So down here, we just got that combined. We're gonna set that back here on our sheet tray just to soak. And then over in our saute pan, our oil should be hot enough to add in our mushrooms and our onion. How do we know? It's shimmering and it's practically smoking. But see how loose it is? It's moving around like water, not like cold oil anymore. There goes our onion. And then our 4 ounces of mushrooms. Let's take a quick second and talk about the other things that I've got sitting over here on the stove that we're going to be using here later in class in terms of equipment. Back here we have a stock pot. Now this is filled with cold water. We're not bringing this up to temperature just yet. This is going to be for cooking our potatoes. Then down here we have this medium saucepan. This is going to be for making our gravy, which is why I already have a whisk set in it. And then I have a small sauce pot that has 10 ounces of whole milk in it already. This is because I didn't want to dirty another measuring cup. But to this, we're going to be adding butter, garlic, shallots, sprigs of thyme, and then we're going to simmer this to melt everything together. And once our potatoes are cooked and then riced through a ricer, we're going to puree everything that we've been cooking or simmering here gently in our milk and add that into our riced potatoes to make our creamy mashed potatoes. And then of course we have our saute pan down here, which is just cooking out our mushrooms and our onions. And then the oven is preheating up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Ignore the sign, it's just a joke. Of course, real men use recipes. I'm giving you guys recipes. I'm writing recipes all the time, and I reference them. But it was a fun thing my mom got me. Can you say Joyce or Musey? Chris, Musey is way worse than moist. Musey. Wow, my meatloaf is really musey. Oh, ugh. Just gave myself shivers saying it. Ugh. Watching from my phone as I work, so lurking for now, but I'm listening. Thanks, Maggie. All right, let's stir our onions and our mushrooms. We're gonna be adding in our garlic here shortly, but we're giving our onions and mushrooms a little bit of a head start because they take longer to cook than our garlic will. It is already starting to smell delicious and mushroomy in our kitchen, guys. I love mushrooms. For those of you who have messaged me throughout the years and told me I just can't do mushrooms for whatever reason, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I get it, and I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. You know, I don't like octopus, but I love mushrooms. To all octopus eaters, more power to you. But give the mushrooms a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, so with our onions, well, look at that big old chunk of onion. We don't want you in here. Get out of here. You're not welcome here, sir. Let's add in our garlic. Ho! Who we got coming in? New follower, blankety blank blank. Oh wait, what was that? Kathy Falterlight. That must be a Facebook notification. All right, Kathy liked the stream. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for joining us, and to all of our Facebook viewers, both of you, thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming out and joining us here on the live stream. We do these weekly. And guys, if you'd like to see abbreviated versions of the classes that I do here on stream, you can go over to our YouTube channel, and I take and I edit all these videos down. So like our biscuit top chicken pot pie class, I think was the most recent video that we uploaded. And that was last Friday, but that took like a 2.5 hour stream, and it reduced it down to about 11 minutes. So if you're looking for the quick version of these things, you can find them on our YouTube channel. EU Maddie, welcome. Hey, Maddie, welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday to you. Saya, good to see you too. What you guys been up to? All right, we're gonna take this off the heat, everybody. Take this off the heat, and let's put it into a small, well, you know what? You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna show you my plan here for the meatloaf. Ooh. Check out my plan for the meatloaf, everybody. We have a stand mixer ready to go right here. I'm using a stand mixer equipped with a paddle attachment. Now my paddle's a little bit special, just like me. It has a flange, like a silicone flange around the outside. It just helps to mix things a little bit better. It was like 20 bucks on Amazon. I really like that. I prefer using that over the paddle attachment for most things, okay?
Logan,
now we're gonna combine in here our sauteed mushrooms and garlic. Let's go over here. We're gonna combine our sauteed mushrooms and garlic in the pan right here. Hey! The great Daft Get. Welcome to the stream. It's great to see you. My name's Logan. Welcome to Ingrediology. I hope you're having a good day. We're making Mushroom-y Meatloaf today on stream. We just added in our sauteed mushrooms, garlic, and onions. Now to this mixture, we're gonna add in our ground beef. I have 2 pounds of ground 80-20 beef right here.
Me.
Can I get a better shot? I probably can't get a better shot. One without the pantry open.
Logan.
So
Yep. Now we
in
found
goes
our
our
stride.
2
Keep it going.
pounds
Yes, well done.
of 80-20 ground beef. This is our panada. It's a 1/4 cup of plain breadcrumbs and a 1/4 cup of whole milk. This is going to help us retain moisture in our meatloaf as it cooks. What were you saying, Maddie? I love Fortnite. Fortnite. Get out of here. I know you guys love Fortnite. You come in here every time and you say it. All right, let's turn off the heat there on the stove. And next come the other ingredients, the spices that we're gonna be adding in here to our meatloaf. This is 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper, 1.5 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt, and then a 1/2 teaspoon of ground sage, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground oregano, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground rosemary. That's gonna be joining our beef. Now let's pop this bowl up, and we're gonna set it on just a stir right now, just to get things going. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer with a silicone paddle attachment at home, I totally get it. This is just me being lazy. You're gonna be mixing this either with a spoon or by hand in a bowl, okay? That's what I need you to do right now. We doing okay, guys? If anybody's cooking along with us, everyone keeping up just fine? No questions so far? I just got off a work call. You always get punished with more work when you do a good job. I know, it's so true. Hard workers always end up with more work. Can I mix this with a golf club? That's a good question, Snake Eye. You can. I suppose you could mix it with a golf club. You're gonna need a big bowl. You probably stuff all the ingredients inside a golf ball washer and then use the end of the club. I wouldn't recommend using a 5-iron or like irons 3 through 8 for this. A wood would work really well because it's more, it's just going to take up more surface area as you're mixing. I hope that answers your question. Now, once this looks completely and thoroughly mixed, which we are pretty much there, guys, we can shut off our mixer, and then what I need you to do is get set up with a baking pan. You need to have a baking pan and then some aluminum foil. Your oven is hopefully preheated already because it's time for us to go in. Let's get this meat mixture here off the bag. Oh, it's time, everybody. We gotta open a new box of gloves. This is my favorite thing, you know? I love, because you can be so violent about it. You just gotta, and then pull out your gloves. Good, now I need to buy a golf club. I don't even like you, Snake Eye. Why are you here? Ay, ay, ay. All right, we're gonna glove up, and then down here on the board, we are gonna take a mix. We're gonna add our meat mixture to our pan, okay? So get all this stuff off the outside of our spatula. Take that over to the sink. Haha. Now, we have, up a little bit. We have our meat. We're gonna put that here into the pan. And we're just gonna form this into a loaf. That's why we're using a loaf pan, because it's meatloaf. What other pan would you use? A violent Logan. That was a new side to him. A new side. I choose violence every morning, Tef. You'll see. You'll see when you're here with us visiting. That's what Megan says, that I choose violence every morning. I get very hyped in the morning. All right, we can dispose. Well, no, we're not going to dispose of our gloves just yet because we need to take and we need to form this in the bottom of the pan in one even layer. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo hoo hoo. Make sure it's an even thickness all throughout. This will guarantee even cooking here. Now, we're using a baking pan because these high-sided walls of a baking pan are gonna help keep all that grease and any moisture that's released by our meatloaf while it's cooking up along the sides of it. That way, when we pull this out of the oven and we're allowing it to rest, it's all there for it to soak back in. That's what the 15 minutes of resting after we've baked this for 45 minutes to an hour is for, all right, is to help it reabsorb some of that. Because if we were to take this, first off, if we were to bake this like on a sheet tray or in a large roasting pan, and all the fat, all the moisture is gonna run right out of it. and then it's just lost. There's no way for it to reabsorb it. And I forget what my second point was. So yeah, don't bake it in anything other than a baking pan, because this will make for more mussy meatloaf, as Chris would say. Hover! Hey, Hover, it's good to see you, my dear. No egg, no breadcrumb? What sorcery is this? Hover, we already put our breadcrumbs that were soaked in milk into our meatloaf right here. They're ready to go. So yes, we do have a panada with our breadcrumb and milk already put in. So just to recap real quick, guys, this is 2 pounds of 80-20 ground beef, 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, plain breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup of milk, 2 garlic cloves, 1 medium yellow onion, 4 ounces of mushrooms, half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of sage, half a teaspoon of rosemary, 2 teaspoons of ground black pepper, and 1.5 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt that are in here in our mix. We're now going to cover this with some aluminum foil and then place it in our oven at 350 degrees to bake away. How much sriracha in this recipe? I add the sriracha when you weren't looking, Snake Eye. And I'm not going to tell you how much. Ha, ha, ha. No. This is a brand new thing of foil. Brand new thing of gloves? Brand new thing of foil here today on stream? Wow. Oh, happy day. Take this up just a skosh. There we go. That's better. Ingrediology. My problem has always been too much water runoff from the meat or greasy, but I've learned 80-20 so far. I am totally the most fave person in Ingrediology right now, relishing the fame. Well, Megan hasn't caught me using mussy yet. I'm sure it will get banned. It'll get banned the second she hears it, Chris. So enjoy it while it lasts. That's what I get for being late. That's right, Sarah. That's what you get for being late. How dare you? I hope your week's going good, my dear. It's great to see you. With our meatloaf covered, into the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to take care of our potatoes. Is that what I got next? Saute, breadcrumb, garlic, mix meatloaf, bake meatloaf, cut potatoes and boil. We're on step number 7 of my handwritten list. Let's go over all the things that we're going to be having in our potatoes, guys. I got the little mise tray right here for you. Ooh, he's so organized. How sexy. Oh, I know. So we have 3 pounds of peeled russet potatoes. Idaho potatoes, if you will. Or russet potatoes in general. Russet potatoes, these are already peeled. I just did that because who likes watching me peel potatoes here on stream? Just raise your hand in chat. So we have our potatoes already peeled, soaking in water so that they don't oxidize. We have 1 medium shallot. We have 3 tablespoons of butter. We have 2 tablespoons of coarse kosher salt. 3 cloves of garlic, as well as 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. Now, we need to get our potatoes cut up and into that pot, the stock pot of water that I have sitting on the stove. So let's do that first. Then we can put this back off to the side. Very nice, very nice. You know what, I'm gonna grab the stock pot just so I have something to toss these into as I go. Now, I mentioned earlier, everybody, that our water is cold here for the potatoes, as Hover is saying in chat. Mash them, boil them, cook them in a stew. And the reason is we want these to cook evenly. And if you start your potatoes out in already boiling water, the outside is going to get done before the inside is fully cooked. And then you have mealy potatoes and overcooked potatoes both in the same batch, all right? So start it in cold, just like you would with hard-boiled eggs. And by the way, the recipe says 3 pounds of potatoes. That is 3 pounds after having been peeled right here. So 3 pounds of potatoes that we're putting into the water. I think it was about 4.25 pounds that I got in total at the store. It was like 6 potatoes all day. 6 like medium large sized russet potatoes is what I used. Perhaps the plucky comic relief. We have a bunch of comic relief around here. People who think they're funny. What's up, Taste Made? How you guys doing over there? Everyone hanging tight? Is Umami in chat? I wanted to see if Umami was attending today. That was one of the people who signed up over here on Taste Made. Sound off if you are. Again, just chunking our potatoes large, starting them in cold water. If you're just joining us here on Ingrediology, everybody, happy Wednesday to you. My name's Logan, and on this Wednesday's weeknight dinner, we are making a very mushroomy meatloaf. The meatloaf just went into the oven, and now we're working on our creamy mashed potatoes that we're gonna be serving alongside it. After we get these potatoes on the stove, those guys, we want to make sure that you have all your ingredients for the gravy ready to go. That's what we're gonna be mise en placing next. To the stove! Well, I'll just take this. You don't need to see me put this on the stove. Go. Now I'm going to turn my heat to high on the potatoes. I want these to come up to a boil as quick as possible, which means I'm also going to need to put my lid on it. Put a lid on it. Boop, boop. Okay, cool. Now let's work on the rest of the stuff that we're going to be putting here into our milk. I mentioned earlier that we're going to be taking our shallots, our garlic, salt, and fresh thyme, and simmering those to cook them in about 10 ounces of milk. So I've got my 10 ounces of milk ready to go, already measured out here in a small sauce pot. Please do the same if you're cooking along at home. I would totally subscribe to OnlyPans. I keep telling everybody, all these fellow food and drinkers, gee, if you're still around, let's do this. Onlypans.com is available as a web domain for about $1,500. And let's do a calendar. Do a fun, sexy calendar, and then we can give all the money to like St. Jude's Children's Hospital or something. So beginning with our shallot, I'm just taking off the root end and the stem end here, cutting it in half, and we're gonna peel it just like we did with our yellow onion. Looks judgmental on Logan for thinking he is funny. I am funny. I am genuinely funny. I am a goddamn riot. Okay? Don't forget it. Bop, bop, bop. Okay, now we're gonna chunk these up large with the shallots, like 1/2-inch wide slices. We don't need to hang onto the root end here. We can get rid of that. I get a little bit more out of that. There we go. And then into our cream, into our milk it goes. This would be good with cream though. Oh man, guys, could you imagine this with cream? Aha! I missed the oven temp. Johan, no worries. The oven temperature is going to be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you guys need to reference any of these recipes after the VOD or you're watching the replay of this here on one of our channels, just hit !recipe in chat or visit ingrediology.org and check out the class guide that we have laid out for this, okay? But !recipe in chat will take you over to the Mushroom-y Meatloaf class guide, and that'll have all the instructions laid out for you, an equipment list, as well as nutritional information, yada, yada, yada. We have 2 cloves of garlic, which we're not even gonna mince up. We're just gonna toss them right there in the water, okay? Then in go 3 sprigs of thyme. We're gonna add in our 3 tablespoons of butter, and then 2 tablespoons of salt. That's a lot of salt, chef. You're right, it is a lot of salt, but remember, we are seasoning 3 pounds of potato plus whatever's here in the pan, okay? So 2 tablespoons is gonna be just right for this. Now, of course, whenever you're cooking this kind of stuff for yourself at home, be sure to just salt to taste, okay? Trying to work as clean as possible, everybody. Oh, by the way, hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes. At 30 minutes, I'm going to check the temperature on our meatloaf. By the way, make sure you have an InstaRead digital thermometer. We want to make sure our meatloaf reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're gonna pull it out of the oven. Once it's at that temperature, at its thickest point, that's the lowest temperature you can find of it, then it comes out and it rests, okay? So, instant-read digital thermometer. Now, our milk is going to go back onto the stove. And we're gonna put this on like a low temp. All right, just low, just to keep it. Oh, I put the front burner on low. Put the back burner on low because the front burner doesn't have anything in it. So put that on just low, because all we're trying to do is really melt our butter and then dissolve our salt and get everything just simmering away. So what's the difference between a simmer and a boil? You oftentimes see this inside of a recipe. A simmer is 185 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level. It's different up here at Denver because we're at altitude, blah, blah, blah. But 185 degrees is gonna be where you see those little bubbles starting to form around the edges of whatever you're starting to simmer, okay? That would just be a very gentle simmer. That's what they mean when they have that in a recipe. It shouldn't be a rolling boil, which a boil is 212 degrees Fahrenheit for water at sea level is gonna be 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's like, it's trying to crawl out of the pan. It's a rolling boil, it's really fast. If your recipe calls for that, that's where you're gonna go. But we would just want the gentle bubbles version, okay? Next thing we're gonna be doing is working on our gravy. So we have for our gravy down here on the board. Cooking Girl. Wait, is Cooking Girl in here? Hey, how you doing, Cooking Girl? Welcome back. Really nice format for your setup / recipe. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate you, Cooking Girl. Yeah, make good use out of it. I work really hard on making sure the website is as informative as possible and as easy to understand for you. So I appreciate you. Now, we have the mise en place for what is going to be our mushroom gravy down here on the board. We have 4 ounces of cremini mushrooms. So I just bought an 8-ounce package, 4 ounces in the meatloaf, 4 ounces here for our gravy. 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm sorry. Yeah, 3 tablespoons. 1.5 weight ounces of butter, and then 1.5 weight ounces of flour. We'll talk about that here in a second. I know we've discussed roux a couple of times here on the stream, but you know, there's always new people joining us. So we're gonna go over it again. Ingrediology, I have to come visit sometime years later. Do you have a barbed wire camera set up? I don't yet, but you know, with more comments like that, it's just accelerating the process, isn't it? Along with our gravy, we're gonna be adding in how much is this? 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, who's your sister? Sauce. 1 medium shallot, which we're gonna be mincing up. And then we have 3 cups of beef stock ready to go. These are gonna be the components that are going into our gravy. All right, now we need to mince up those mushrooms just like we did for our meatloaf here a second ago. So let's set this off to the side and get started on that. Bam. So, mushrooms first. Again, I'm just taking off the ends because they're a little dried. There we go. Hey, hey. We got our taxes done, everybody. Haha! Just got it back from our accountant. We're good. I'm happy. I'm glad that we pay an accountant to do this kind of stuff because it is just so far over my head. And with the business, plus buying a house this year and having a baby, like it was just more complex than it would have been worth for me to do, because I definitely would not have gotten back the return that our accountant got back for us. But yeah, that's good. That's good to, nice stress to have off your shoulders, right? That's nice to have behind you, behind me. The spice cabinet? You looking at my spice cabinet? Think how good my spice cabinet is, everybody. I love my spice cabinet. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean the taxes? That's funny. Hey, Rascal! Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, little rascal. It's great to have you. My name's Logan. You're on Ingrediology. We're making Mushroom-y Meatloaf here today, my friend. I'm glad that you're joining us. We're working on the ingredients for our gravy. The meatloaf's already in the oven. We've got our creamy mashed potatoes already on the stove. Oh, what am I doing? This is not just gonna be sliced. This is gonna be minced up too. Okay. I was getting distracted with Cooking Girl. Did we get a shout out for Cooking Girl? By the way, that's a serious spice cabinet pouring. Is there a subreddit for that? Because I would definitely submit some pics. Yeah, I mean, you want to see the whole thing? You want to take a look? Ooh. And it's alphabetized. And I've got the bulk spices up top over here. And then all the miscellaneous stuff like that I rarely use, like togarashi and sumac and like coriander and curry powder extracts. That's a little slide out. That's sexy. Ooh. Then we got dried chilies up top. So that's an assortment of like chili de árbol. And then we have like vacuum seal bags and yeast and all sorts like pink curing salt, some Salty Dog Spice Company stuff. Over here, shout out to Colonel Salty Dog at Salty Dog Spice Company. Guys, if you go over to saltydogspicecompany.com, I think you can still use the code Ingrediology10 and get 10% off your order of their blends of different spices and salts. So check it out. All right, back to cutting mushrooms. There we go. You guys want to see it from that side? Did you buy sumac after I mentioned it? I'm a genius. I bought sumac because what did I need sumac in? What did I use sumac? Shit, what did I make last night? I can't even remember what I made for dinner the other night. But it had sumac in it. But yes, we'll just say it's your fault, Snake Eye. That's right, I hadn't heard of sumac until you mentioned it. That slide out is legit. Where did you get it? Chris, actually, tag at Kathy F Says or K Money here in chat. They bought it for me for Christmas. They might be able to help you out in that direction. I really don't know, but it is very handy. Man, I'm so smart. We're all getting hot and bothered by that cabinet. I know. I don't blame you. It's a very sexy spice cabinet. I like your mod, Snake Eye, a lot. You want him? You want to keep him? I'll sell him to you. How much for a little girl? Sell me your children. He is very smart. He's quite smart. He's a certifiable genius here on stream. Okay. Mushrooms have been nicely minced. 4 ounces of cremini mushrooms back here in our bowl. Mod for sale. $3 is the price. I'll set the price. Thank you very much. For as much grief as I've had to put up with, it's going to be a lot more than $3. I love you, Snake Eye. I really do. You're a valued friend. I really appreciate you being you, Taff, Hover, Lord and Lady Barkalex, everybody here on stream, for being around and helping out as much as you do. I know I'm not very interactive on the Discord or on Twitch in general nowadays. Sorry, having a baby kind of complicates things. So I just really have time, but I love you. Comes with his own gas supply. I bet he does. Okay. Take a look back here on the stove, everybody. You can see our butter is starting to melt in there with the milk and the shallots and the garlic and thyme that we have there in the small sauce pot. Again, that's going to be going in our mashed potatoes. So make sure that you have a large bowl and a ricer This is a ricer, everybody. This is what we're gonna be passing our mashed potatoes or our cooked potatoes through. Oh, good thing I checked that. I don't have a grate for the bottom of this. There we go. Okay. Every single cabinet in this kitchen is filled, guys. We have trouble finding places for stuff. We actually store a lot of things in the laundry room too, like Instant Pots and air fryers and whatnot. Someone's like, hey, do you want to get another thing? It's like, where the hell are we gonna put it? Boy or a girl? It is a boy, Rascal. Little boy, little Remington. He was 5 months this week. And, boop. He's upstairs having a little nap time right now, which is good. Because Dada and Grammy need a break. Okay, there we go. Reptilian, god damn it. I did have the baby Johan. Yep, it was all me. 100% me over here. Boy! Let's see. What are we working on? Oh, we gotta get our shallot minced up for the gravy. We go ahead and we're gonna take off the stem just like we did earlier. Trim the root. Cut this in half. And then we're gonna do the rainbow cut, which is what we did to our yellow onion earlier. Is everybody in the oven who needs to be in the oven? Jess, are you doing okay? Jess is the only person that I know for sure who's cooking along with us. Remington Steel Dutch Oven Instant Pot. That's his name. That isn't his name. Logan did not take that work away that Maggie did. Right. Maggie did a bunch of work. Megan's still doing a bunch of work. I'm sure you did your 3-second involvement well. Thanks, Johan. I did. Keep in mind, I have 3 kids, so I did the same work. Doing great, Jess? Good. Glad to hear it. All right, we got our minced shallot. Hey! POTUS McKenna, welcome to the stream. Thanks for popping that up on screen for me, by the way. Whoever's working on feature chat, thanks for keeping all of our viewers in mind. But great to have you. Thanks for following. Welcome. I'm sorry, I'm like talking to this camera, but I'm over here on the side camera. Welcome to Ingrediology. My name's Logan, and today we're making a mushroom-y meatloaf here on stream for our Wednesday weeknight dinner. I hope you're well. Where are you joining us from, POTUS? DC. All right, back into our small bowl with the shallot. Ba, ba, ba. Ah, Chris, what you drinking today? You got some more ranch water? Stay away from that ranch water, man. Emily had to take over the other night in chat. I got a message that's like, by the way, Chris had too much ranch water. This is Emily. We are starting to simmer here with our potatoes, which is good. Simmering those away. We want this to come up to a rolling boil on our potatoes. And once these are fork tender, then we'll pull them out and we'll put them in through our ricer. And there's the ricer right there, ready to go. But now, it's time to make our gravy. We have over on the stove our medium saucepan, and we're gonna be adding to this some butter, baby, our shallots and mushrooms, and then sauteing those together and making a roux before adding in our beef and our Worcestershire. In goes our butter. That is 3 tablespoons of butter. That back over here. 3 tablespoons of butter in the pan, everybody. Let's get this to a medium high heat, a little bit above a medium. And once our butter is melted and foamy, then we're gonna go in with our mushrooms and our shallot simultaneously. Kind of how we did with our meatloaf mixture earlier, the onions and mushrooms and garlic that we put in with our meatloaf. But we're gonna nix the garlic in this. It's just shallots and mushroom this time around. Regular water, not cooking today, just enjoying the feed. Heard that, Chris. Well, I was gonna say, if you were drinking something, I'd drink something along with you. I think I have a stout. Unless Kevin drank them. Nope, I still got a stout hanging out around here. More beer. Have a beer. Give me a burr. Let's see. Peer pressure. I mean, yeah. This is a nitro stout, so you gotta pour hard. Yeah, there we go. Left hand. Left hand from, where is it? Longmont? We're in Longmont, Colorado. Yep, Longmont, Colorado. So just north of us. Yeah, look at that. Can we get the side shot of that? That's sexy. Real quick, everybody, I want to talk about what we're going to be doing with that milk and shallot and thyme that we got on the stove. Now, we're going to be pureeing that. After we have simmered everything together and our butter's melted, our shallot and garlic cloves are cooked, we're going to take and we're going to puree that. I'm going to be using an immersion blender, like I have right here. Stick blender, immersion blender, both the same thing. Or you could use a regular blender, a Vitamix at home. All right, that's what you should use. Now, if you don't have either of those things, what I would suggest is just strain your milk out and don't try and incorporate your cooked shallot or garlic. Flavor will have infused during the simmering process from our shallot and garlic and thyme and everything into the milk. So it's not as big of an issue if we remove those. It would be a textural issue if we left them in there and just like they were floating around inside of our mashed potatoes, okay? So again, we're gonna be using a stick blender to puree that and then adding that into our rice mashed potatoes. So make sure you have a stick blender or a regular blender on standby, ready to go. Let's go back over to the stove. Sounds like our butter is foaming and melted. So into the pot, we're gonna go with our mushrooms and our shallot. Stir this up. Oh man, once again, mushroom-y in the kitchen. Where's my small lid for that pot? There we go. Boop. Much better. More better. Drink check, iced coffee with cognac. Look, cognac. What are you, a Bond villain? Cognac. Okay. Wow. Wow, your nose looking quite red today, Chef. Bring milk to a simmer, Me's gravy ingredients, make the gravy, which is what we're in the process of doing right now here over on the stove. Continuing to saute our mushrooms and our shallots together. Now, after we've sauteed these, our shallots are translucent, our mushrooms are well cooked. Then we're gonna add in our 1.5 weight ounces of flour. Now, why am I being so specific about this? Well, we put in 1.5 weight ounces of butter in with our mushrooms and our shallots, and we're gonna be making a roux. And if you joined us for our biscuit top chicken pot pie class, you already know this, but I will repeat it. A roux, R-O-U-X, is a thickening agent consisting of butter and flour, and that is measured by weight, not by volume. So if you look here on the side of my ramekin, it's like 2.5 ounces by volume for our flour. whereas, 3 tablespoons of butter is what it is by volume for our butter. Again, this is by weight. What weighs more, a pound of bricks or a pound of feathers? Like, it's just gonna take up different amounts of space. Okay, so make sure you're weighing your flour for this process. And then we're gonna add this all at once into our mushroom and shallot mixture and cook out our roux. And then once that's cooked, we'll cook it out for about 30, 45 seconds. We'll add in our beef stock, our Worcestershire, whisk vigorously, and then just allow it to simmer out on the stove for the remainder of the time that we're cooking our meatloaf. At which point, hopefully it's achieved a beautiful nappe consistency. It's a delicious, thick, very flavorful gravy, all right? Some might see me as a villain. I don't see you as a villain, Tef. There we go. I wonder how many people go back and watch the VODs on these things, especially on Tastemade. Tastemade doesn't provide any numbers for me on that, or analytics. I don't think it's meant to be opaque to keep me from knowing. Their platform just isn't as developed and complex on the creator side as, say, like YouTube or Twitch or whatnot. Which is fine. Gets the job done. But we had like 9 people sign up for this class. And I would say we got about a 30% rate of people attending live. And I don't know if people just miss it or go back and view the VOD later or what's going on. Again, if you're intending to come back and watch the VOD, you might want to wait a couple of weeks because I take all these videos I'm recording right now as we're talking, and I take this footage and I cut it down into abbreviated, much shorter videos. So like my biscuit top chicken pot pie, it's a 2.5-hour class. 2.5-hour class. I took it and we got it to 11 minutes. It's up on our YouTube channel right now. So if you wanted to make that and you wanted to use our class guide, you can watch an 11-minute version instead of having to go back and watch the full 2.5 hours. I guess I've not heard any feedback about that as well, like what people prefer. Because with the YouTube video, I would imagine you're constantly like starting and stopping and pausing and checking the recipe and doing all this stuff. Whereas if you're just watching the replay of the live stream, it kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, you got to put up with my annoying voice and all the stupid jokes that Snake Eye's making in chat, but it's paced out. Like we're gonna be hitting the same points pretty much together, And if I get ahead of you, you can always pause it at that point. I don't know. Which do you guys prefer? Do you like the YouTube videos better? Or do you prefer watching it live and cooking along with me? Let's go back to the stove. I've never said a stupid thing in my life. The hell you haven't. Are you dead? Are you a ghost then, Snake Eye? All right, guys, we have our 1.5 weight ounces of all-purpose flour. That's gonna go into our mixture here with the butter, and then we are just going to combine this. It's gonna look real dry here for a second. That's okay. It's okay. Trust the process, all right? Who we got? Spalayan. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you. My name's Logan. This is Ingrediology, and we're making a little bit of mushroom gravy at the moment, but this is gonna be topping our mushroom meatloaf that we have in the oven, served alongside our potatoes, our creamy whipped potatoes. So good. I'm just gonna keep that low. Low. Now we need to cook out the rawness of our flour here. A roux is gonna have the texture of like wet sand, which is pretty much what we got. Make sure you're trying to get as much flour off the bottom of the pan as possible during this cooking process because we don't want to burn parts of our flour to the bottom. That's just going to incorporate a burned taste into our gravy, which is not what we're looking for. It's not. I'm making a mess. What else is new? I'm making a mess. Now, it is much easier, admittedly, to make a roux in a non-stick pan. But while I'm whisking this, I don't want to be scratching up my non-stick pan. So I'm making it in a sauce pot and just paying more attention to the flour that's on the bottom right here. Separating it out, making sure that all the flour that we mix in here with our butter, mushroom, and onion mixture is coming in contact with the heat and has the ability to cook out. Lose that raw flouriness of it. Get back in there. Go to your home. You too good for your home? All right, everybody, back down here on the board. I've got 3 cups of beef stock, as well as 2 tablespoons, 1 ounce of Worcestershire sauce. So we're gonna add those to the pan now, bringing with us our whisk. And we're gonna whisk vigorously. Whoa! And we're gonna whisk vigorously to take out any lumps. And now we're gonna increase our heat a little bit because I wanna bring this up to a simmer. That roux does not start actually thickening our gravy until it's at a simmer. That roux does not activate until it's simmering / boiling. We're gonna have to check our potatoes here after I get this well mixed. How you guys doing in chat? Do we need to contact your parents? Don't tell them. I'll be good, I swear. Oh man, guys. Making sure to get into the edges right here. Don't leave anything sticking in your gravy. Okay, let's give our mashed potatoes a check with a fork. You know what? Why use a fork? Let's just use a set of tongs. Huh. Ooh. I don't know. I need a more tactile response. Ooh, that's very, very mashable. All right, Jess. If your potatoes have been on as long as mine have, we're gonna take them off. That's what we're looking for, guys. Let me show you here on the board exactly what I mean. So we have our potato, and it's just easily smashed right there. See, it's not mealy, it's totally cooked through. That's what we're looking for, okay? Let's get out a big bowl. Make sure you have your ricer on hand. I'm gonna pull these potatoes out, and we're gonna drain them in the sink. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Hup, 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 hup. Hip hop. Hip hop anonymous. Hip hop anonymous. Okay. I'll just use this big glass bowl. Okay, that could go here for holding our potatoes. Let's get a strainer in the sink. And how hot are these handles? Too hot to handle by themselves. Dude. The fan on top of the stove just came on automatically. There we go. Hey, what's up, Connor? Can we get a shout out for the only deaf guy, please? Gonna get some sleep when to drop a lurk, though. Love. Have an awesome rest of your stream. Keep being amazing as you always are. Keep being awesome, Logan. Thanks, Connor. I really appreciate you. Make sure that you're following Connor over on his channel, guys. The Only Deaf Guy. He is a line cook in the UK, works at a bistro. He's a really cool dude and another food and drinker here on Twitch. So definitely worthy of a follow. Enjoy your lurk, sir. I hope you get some rest. I know it's probably late over there already. The Great Deaf Kid. Ingenuity and incongruity always cheer me up. Sir Terry Pratchett. Huh. Are you finding that here on the stream, ingenuity and incongruity? Maybe. All right, that's the timer for our meatloaf. We need to temp that here in a second. Don't let me forget that. Well, you know what? Let's just temp it now. Screw it. Now, everybody, you're going to make sure you have your InstaRead digital thermometer ready to go right here. Let's turn that bad boy on. Turn off the timer. Woo! Very hot. Now, what we're looking for is 165 degrees Fahrenheit at its thickest point. Which right now I'm temping at 155, 156. Can we get lower? 152, 148, 145. Okay, so you want to make sure that the end of this probe right here is at the very most center of your meatloaf. Now I'm getting like 143 right here. So what we're gonna do, everybody, is I'm gonna remove the foil from the outside of our meatloaf. Let's get a closer look. I'm gonna remove the foil from the outside of our meatloaf, and then we're gonna allow us to continue to cook in the oven for another like 5-10 minutes, so we get a little bit of browning on the top, all right? Because right now it's looking rather greasy and tepid. All right, back into the oven we go. Ooh, it's getting kind of warm in the kitchen, everybody. Everybody. Now, I'm going to reserve my aluminum foil that I have right here because after that comes out of the oven, hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. We're going to cover it again with our aluminum foil, and we're going to allow it to rest and help it soak up some of that grease and moisture that is lost in the pan while it's cooking. All right, let's get down to ricing our potatoes, everybody. We're just going to be taking and spooning our potatoes into our ricer over here, and it gets pressed through this metal sieve or metal, what are you going to call it, grate down here at the bottom of our ricer. So, pop, pop, pop. Fill up the chamber, press it through. It takes these two. Wow. Warning, never go into an oven, just place food. It gives better and safer results. You're right about that, Tep. Yeah, don't crawl in your oven, everybody. What is this, Hansel and Gretel? Hey, don't be trying to sneak in here. You're not allowed in our whipped potatoes. Ha! Ha! And a one, and a two. Anybody got fun plans for the weekend? We've been trying to do little day trips with Remy every weekend. We've taken him to like Stanley Market out here in Denver. He's been really good every time we've gone out. We took him to the outlets. A lot of shopping. Megan likes to shop. What can I say? But he's always been very well behaved, quiet. You know, he's just interested in everything that's going on. He's looking around at everything all the time. Just a very curious boy. Bam. Look at that. You see that? It's like an adult Play-Doh maker. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Good, and boy's good too.
Good. Is he back down? Just about. Just
No,
went down.
He slept for 2 hours. So
Oh,
he's
wow.
down.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He's on his little afternoon kick right now. Cool. Cool. Cookie Girl says we are going to a Jimi Hendrix tribute band. Inside scoop, my dad was in a band class in high school with Jimmy. That's crazy, Cookie Girl. That's awesome. Your dad had band class with Jimi frickin' Hendrix. What? That's really neat. And now you're gonna go see a tribute band. What's your favorite Jimi Hendrix song? I think for me, it's probably All Along the Watchtower. All right, we have our potatoes riced, ready to go here in our bowl. Way more potatoes than you should eat in a sitting, but who cares? There's a lot of creamy mashed potatoes. What we need to do now is set these off to the side for the time being, and then we're gonna get back to that the pot. We're gonna get back to that small pan of milk and shallots, garlic cloves, thyme, butter, and salt that we have over on the stove. So let's take a look at that. Ooh, look at our gravy, everybody. Let's get a little black pepper in here too. I like a lot of black pepper in my mushroom meatloaf gravy. Let's call it like a solid 2 teaspoons. And then about a teaspoon of salt's gonna go in there. Well, if you guys can see how it's thickening nicely here in the pot, it will continue to thicken as we simmer this out. And you know what I haven't started, everybody? Which I didn't even really include in the recipes, but peas. Peas. Just making up some frozen peas. This little bag of petite peas. I just love green peas. Green peas with meatloaf is a classic. It's the way to go. Okay, so let me get a little water and some peas on the stove. Ha-ha. Boom. Peas are on. Let's put that on medium heat. We're going to leave those covered right here. Boom. We're just going to bring those up to temperature, okay? Now, I'm going to pull my pan of milk and shallots that have been simmering here on the stove off the heat. We need to fish around inside of this and pull out our thyme. Now, if you're just joining us, this is 10 ounces of milk, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. There's our 3rd sprig. 1 medium shallot that has been chunked out, and then 2 garlic cloves. And now we need to take and we need to puree all this together and add it into our riced potatoes, which we have over here. Peas with crispy prosciutto. Ooh. Foxy Lady. Foxy Lady's your favorite Jimi Hendrix song? Very nice. Good choice. That is a good song. I didn't even think about Foxy later. I always have peas with my meatloaf and gravy. Classic combo. Exactly. Exactly. There's a reason they go together. All right? Like peas and carrots. Like peas and meatloaf. So get your blender set up. If you're going to be using a blender, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using an immersion blender. So I have my stick blender right here. And you know what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier? I'm going to put this in a tall measuring cup. If I have it clean. Yes. Yes, yes, excellent. Wonderful. And this is just going to make it easier for my blender to get everything pureed together. No? Wrong sound effect? Okay. That's what Chris was doing last Wednesday after all that ranch water. Okay. Blender, lowest speed. And this is just making a buttery puree of shallots and garlic in here in our milk, which we will then fold into our rice potatoes. All right, so that was on 1. Let's take it up to 2. What is a Jimi Hendrix? Tef, my European ass. What is a Jimi Hendrix? Tef, yeah, go out and listen to the Are You Experienced album by Jimi Hendrix. Find his greatest hits on whatever music service you currently subscribe to. You need to, okay? The guy's a legend. He's an absolute legendary guitarist from the 60s. You'll like it. I wouldn't be surprised if you've actually heard some of his songs and you just didn't know it. Hup. Listen, I'm sure there's plenty of classic, world-renowned Denmark bands that I have not heard of, so no shade to you, Tef. It's not your fault you're uncultured. Just keep sipping your cognac, you frickin' Bond villain. There we go. Let's make sure the back is turned off. Front's fine. And then let's stir up our gravy real quick. Make sure you're whisking this occasionally, guys, so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And after about 10 minutes of simmering, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the heat off underneath our gravy. It's looking real good. We've talked about nappe consistency here on the stream before, but we're going to review it anyways. What you want to look for nappe consistency is that it coats the back of the spoon, and when you put your finger through it, it holds that channel. All right, so our gravy is looking at a great viscosity right now. Also, this is hot, so it's going to be even more viscous when it cools down to serving temperature. Kuko Brigade, thank you for raiding in, and thank you for coming in with your 2 viewers. I appreciate you. Welcome to Ingrediology, everybody. My name's Logan. You're joining us here for our Wednesday weeknight dinner, on which we are making a very mushroomy meatloaf. All right, so this is no brown sugar, ketchup, and bacon on top of your meatloaf. We're not playing that game. All right, I hate that kind of meatloaf. We're making a delicious umami bomb of a mushroom gravy to go over our mushroom-infused meatloaf, serving it with our creamy mashed potatoes and then some peas, just to keep it classic like we were talking about. But where are you joining us from, everybody? Another one of our greats who passed away at 27. You're right about that, Cooking Girl. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is in the 27 club. Oh, that gravy. Oh, it's so good. I really think it's the Worcestershire that does the trick here. All right, we're just going to take and we're going to combine our cream, folding this in to our 3 pounds of cooked mashed potatoes, okay? 10 ounces of milk to 3 pounds of mash. Now make sure you mix this by hand, everybody. Don't ever, ever, ever mix or blend or chop up potatoes that you're intending for a mash in a food processor or a RoboCoupe. So the starches inside of your potatoes it'll be bad. It gets really gluey in texture instead of light and fluffy like we've achieved here with our potato ricer. Get yourself a ricer, or if you really are a fan of work, go ahead and mash this up with a fork, but do not put it in a food processor. Jimi Hendrix is a literal legend, absolutely amazing. He left the world too early. You're right about that, Snake Eye. Coco says, hey yo, Coco. What were you guys streaming over on your channel? And did we make sure to get a shout out for Kuko? I'm sorry, Kuko is what I should be saying, not Coco. I believe. Again, first time seeing this name. Guys, those are really good. Not to toot my own horn, but toot. Yes, with some gravy on top of them. Oh my God. Yes, please. Majora's Mask? Randomized? What is this? We've been rated by Kuko before. Thanks, Chochi. Those potatoes look so good. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty friggin' amazing. I make some really good mashed potatoes. So I love that garlic and shallot technique and mixing it in with your mash. Thanks, Jess. Jess, you're gonna be eating the same thing, my dear. I usually put a little butter into my mash as well. And Kitten, we melted 3 tablespoons of butter in with 10 ounces of milk. There was 1 shallot that was in there, just chunked up, 2 whole garlic cloves, and 3 sprigs of thyme. We removed the thyme after allowing that pot of milk and everything else to simmer on the stove for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then we blended it with an immersion blender. So it's like a blend of butter and shallots and garlic and salt in there as well. And then, it's next level potatoes, guys. Well, just like I said, if you don't have a ricer, get to it with a fork. Do a fork or like a hand potato masher. If you got one of those, that'll work really well. Or you can put it in a bag and hit it with a sledgehammer. I'm sure Snake Eye's probably gonna type that in chat next. Okay, now what do we gotta do? Oh, we need to check our meatloaf, everybody. Oh, yes. Seaway. Look at that. That is some nicely brown meatloaf. Now look at I want you guys to note how much fat and liquid is floating around here in the bottom of our baking pan right now before I take and cover this to allow it to rest for like the next 15 minutes. Because when I uncover this, and we go to serve, we go to slice this up and serve with our potatoes and our peas and everything else, it will have absorbed a good amount back into it. And if you were to just take this out of the pot or out of the pan right after baking it and slice it up right there, you're gonna lose all that grease that is gonna reabsorb during our resting period. All right, now again, we wanna make sure that this meatloaf is up to 165 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature before taking it out of the oven and resting it. Now, I was already at 155, 148 before putting it in the oven for like another 12, 13 minutes. I'm secure in the knowledge that this is over 165. But make sure you're using an InstaRead digital thermometer at the thickest point in the meatloaf. You're registering at 165. Otherwise, you've undercooked ground meat, and undercooked ground meat is a very dangerous food situation, okay? Something sledgehammer. Are you gonna put any of the meat juices in the gravy? Kitten, that's not a bad idea, but no, I won't be combining those today. But I would encourage you to do so at home. You know what you could do is if you cooked this ahead of time and you were still making the gravy, like say you reached this point and then you started the gravy, take a little bit of this grease out and put that in the pan instead of using butter, 1.5 weight ounces of this grease, and then saute your mushrooms and your shallots in that. Now guys, it's for Raiders, for anybody who's just joining us here, if you don't know already, each one of these classes that I do here on the stream, I have an accompanying class guide on our website, ingrediology.org. Now you can hit !recipe in chat and it'll spit you back out the link for this particular class. We have an equipment list, it's telling you everything that you're gonna need to make this in the first place. We have the recipes themselves, which also function as a shopping list because they have check boxes next to all the ingredients. It's able to be converted from US measurements into metric measurements just with the click of a button. You can scale it up for as many people as you'd like just by multiplying at the top the amount of servings that you want to make. There's nutritional information at the bottom. You can tag us on Instagram via this like recipe plugin. It's really cool. But yeah, hit !recipe in chat if you'd like to see that. If you'd like to cook along with us, come back to the VOD. And if you don't want to watch the whole like 2 hours of the VOD that we're going to be doing here today, just wait like a week or two after the stream because I take all these recordings and I upload them to our YouTube channel. So they're like 10 to 15 minute videos that you can follow along with, highlighting all the steps that we covered here in class. You can use that same recipe guide to accomplish our dishes at home. We got a bunch of great stuff on the website, so go check it out. Okay, cool. Sorry guys, I'm just catching up with all the chats. I'm checking all the chat boxes here. For the time being, what we're doing is just letting our meatloaf rest here in our baking pan. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Ah, mushrooms, that's why I'm late. CV, I was thinking about you and your I don't want to say hatred. Hatred's such a strong word. Your dislike of mushrooms. I knew this wouldn't be one of your go-to recipes here. That's totally fair. You're missing out. I'm telling you, you're missing out. But, you know, to each their own. Cara loco con su tema. I don't want to yuck your yum. Oh, the gravy. A black pepper, mushroom, Worcestershire, umami bomb of a gravy going on right here, guys. Hell yeah. Oh, it's hatred, actually. It is hatred. Hatred is a proper word. I can't eat a lot of red meat. What ground meat, pork, turkey, chicken, etc., and ratios would you recommend for a beef alternative to meatloaf? You know, I think that a mix... Chochi, I hope I'm getting that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. Chochi, I think a good mix there would be if you did a 25-25 of chicken and turkey, 25% turkey, 25% chicken, and then made the rest of that 50% up with ground pork. Because your turkey and your chicken are going to be so lean in fat, you're going to have extra fat in that pork, more fat than you would in ground beef. And then by taking and combining those three together, I think you'd get a really nice pork loaf out of that. All right? I hope that helps. You should try it that way. Try it that way. Take a picture of it, tag us on Instagram, and let us know how it works out for you if you want to attempt it. Again, just sub out those 2 pounds of ground beef that we use in our recipe for a ½ pound of chicken, a ½ pound of turkey, and 1 pound of ground pork. All right? Good question. Thank you. Thank you. I love when you guys ask me questions, because right now we're at the point of the class. Can I turn these fans off? Ugh. It's not letting me turn the fans off because the stove's still so hot. Oh, I've got like a got like a reflection coming through, bouncing off my desk. We're reaching that time of year, guys, over here where at this time of day the sunlight comes off and reflects either off the table or my desk. Oh, that looks so much better. I don't look like I'm looking into like the briefcase from Pulp Fiction anymore with light coming up from the bottom here. Interesting, I will try that. That's awesome, Coach. Like I said, let us know if you do try it. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see how it works out, my friend. But like I was saying, we've reached that point of the class where we're waiting for everything to rest. We're kind of at at a holding point right now. Waiting for everything to get done. Our peas are going on the stove, guys. And now you get to watch me just become less sober in front of your eyes. It's like a magic trick, but with alcohol. I just thought your calves were glowing. They do that, but I am wearing pants today, however, so no glow from the calves is going on. They're just light hitting the back cabinets over here, and it's actually my calves. Tastemade, how you doing? No one's spoken since about an hour ago when Deirdre said that she didn't use garlic in her sweet potato fries. Are you guys cooking along with us? Are you following everything okay? Any questions you got about our mushroom meatloaf so far? I'd love to know. Let me know. Calf cam. You want calf cam? I mean, I didn't wear anything for my calves. Chris, why are you giving in to these bunch of hooligans over here? Oh, this. I guess I gotta do calf cam because we're just sitting here waiting, right? Oh, you guys are gross. For those of you who have not seen this before, chat is really gross and weird, and they love my running calves. Yeah, that's right. I'm a runner. Cross country, high school, run multiple miles a week. Boom, boom, boom. Oh God, guys! Now I'm just gonna wander around in my clam diggers the rest of the day. You better believe I'm wearing Nikes. Got my black Nike flats on today. My skateboarding Nikes. I don't have my Pegasuses on. You know they have the Pegasus 38s out now. See, these are chef's legs, guys. I don't care. Like sometimes people say don't trust a skinny chef, you know. But even if you are an overweight line cook, chef, what have you, you still got great calves because you're on your feet all day. All right. Shout out to my 80-hour-a-week line cooks here in chat, if there are any. Maybe Connor. There, that's all you get, Hover, and Chris. Oh, Logan, you said that stock needed to be used sooner than I thought. I gave it to my workplace care center. They used it in a chicken noodle soup. It was our fave or last version of the soup. Only change was the stock. The cook for the company is bothered by the fact that I could outcook her, but she has the job. Exactly. She's getting paid for the job. Let her do her thing. Whatever. You know, you've been listening to my dumbass here for a little while now. So at least the stock was better. And again, if you're making soup out of that stock and you're bringing that stock fully back up to a boil, if it was over 7 days in your refrigerator, that will really help to mitigate any kind of foodborne illnesses that might have occurred inside of that stock while I was chilling in the refrigerator. So did you guys get food poisoning off of it? I hope not. You should be good though. For Baca, Darth for Baca, welcome to the stream. It's great to have you, my friend. Happy Wednesday to you. The fairest calves in all the land. Sorry, Tastemade. Tef says, yeah. Well, Tastemade isn't even talking to me, so they don't get to tell me whether or not we do calf cam. You liked having the stock, though. What are you up to, Darth for Baca? You've caught us in a bit of a holding pattern right here. That's why there's no cooking or running around going on stream right now. We're resting our meatloaf. We've already done our gravy. The peas are done. Our whipped potatoes are done. We should get some plates out ready to go for that. Emily took the chicken stock from last week's neck and made zuppa toscana Monday night. You know, I mean, I used to work for Darden. So Darden is a large restaurant conglomerate based out of Orlando. They have Capital Grill, Bahama Breeze, Eddie V's, Seasons 52. They used to have Red Lobster. They were the original owners of Red Lobster, but they sold that off a few years ago. Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse. They're the largest restaurant corporation in America. And being owners of Olive Garden, when I went down for management training, 10 years ago or whatever the hell it was, we got to tour the Olive Garden section. And you'd be surprised, actually, how many things they make in-house at Olive Garden. They actually make their own zuppa toscana in-house. At least 10 years ago or 7 years ago when I went for management training down in Orlando, they were still making it in-house. Now, Seasons 52, we started ordering our soups after a few years of me being a sous chef there, and they were frozen and whatnot. But the zuppa toscana, I know everybody has their own opinion about Olive Garden, and it's shitty Italian food. It is shitty Italian food. But The zuppa toscana is actually a good soup that I recreate myself at home. The sliced potatoes, the Italian sauce. I do spicy Italian sausage in mine, as well as like the lacinato kale, the Tuscan kale. Yeah, that's definitely a keeper from the menu. I can't think of anything else at Olive Garden that I'm like, oh my God, I want to eat, but the zuppa toscana is definitely one of them. No, I boiled the jars and jarred it correctly as well. That definitely helped. Yeah, if you like actually jarred it or did like a canning process on it, then it'll keep for a lot longer. I wouldn't be worried about that chicken stock. Hello, no worries. We made carbonara for the first time. Frickin' amazing. I love carbonara. Why haven't I written a menu for carbonara? Darth, thank you so much for suggesting that. I've got a great carbonara recipe. Now, I like in my carbonara, I like to use bucatini. Bucatini, it's thicker than spaghetti, and it has the hole down the center of it. It's like a hollowed out spaghetti. Hey, thank you for your support, fan. Whoever just subscribed or signed up over here on Ko-Fi, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. I'm sorry, not Ko-Fi, it's Ko-Fi. I was reminded here today on stream. Just spell it with 2 E's if you're gonna put an I in it. Looks like Wi-Fi, all right? Anyways, that's my complaint with Ko-Fi. But if you guys would like to help make the show possible, we put these classes on completely for free on all of our platforms. The website, everything's totally open. We don't even run ads on things, guys. We try to make this as convenient and focused on the food as possible, but it's not free to run. So if you'd like to help us out with website hosting fees, paying for the software like Adobe Suite that we use to edit out all of our videos, or even just buy groceries like we have to do here multiple times a week on stream, I'd really appreciate it. So thank you to the supporter who just signed up over on Ko-Fi. You can go to that link that I have pasted down there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, guys. And as a plus for everybody who signs up on Ko-Fi, we are going to be throwing a party on April 9th. Saturday, April 9th, we're going to be making chicken tinga tostadas as a private class. So it's not going to be going out live or publicly anywhere. It's just going to be us in a Zoom call or maybe Discord. I think we might host it on Discord as a gift to you guys. Get a little bit of FaceTime, a little bit more intimate instruction. We can all cook along together, and it's a little bit better. It removes the barrier of having a chat box in between us, right? So if you're interested in that, you'd like that as a perk, or you just want to support the stream, please go to kofi.com/ingrediology and you can do so. That's 10 minutes resting here on our meatloaf. Let's get some plates out. We are gonna plate up our delicious mushroom-y meatloaf, creamy potatoes, and some peas topped with an umami bomb of a mushroom gravy. Oh, hell yeah. Now, I told you guys I wanted to note how much grease there was hanging out here at the bottom. No, it's not, Snake Eye. Don't you start this BS right now. Oh, yes. I'm going to, now I know this doesn't look incredibly amazing. I said this earlier, guys, you know, meatloaf is never going to be the star dish on your menu. It's not gonna be the one taking the food critics and sending them over the moon, okay? But this is an integral recipe that I make quite often for my family, and I think you should be able to recreate it for yourself at home. The intention with all these classes is to get you guys into the kitchen and cooking approachable recipes. I'm not trying to make haute cuisine or 5-star, Michelin-starred restaurant level food and plating with like sprinklings of pistachio dust and edible flowers and all that stuff. There's a place for that, and I have done that stuff in the past, but really my intent with everything that we do on Ingrediology is to make recipes that you guys are gonna be able to recreate at home and make delicious food for yourself. So again, I guess the reason why I'm saying all of this is because I know this just looks like a brick of meatloaf, but trust me, this is a meatloaf that will change your opinion on not only meatloaf, but maybe mushrooms at the same time. Ha ha ha, looking at you, CB Nut Tree. Anyways, let's give this a slice and we're gonna get this plated up. We used leeks and pancetta, glorious. Oh, for baka, that sounds absolutely incredible. All right, I like cutting this in like 2-inch slices. I'm just gonna go all the way down here. maybe an inch and a half. That's not quite 2 inches. Yes to carbonara. Your puttanesca was amazing. Best I ever had. Jess, thank you so much. That's a great compliment. Yeah, we should do carbonara. We're gonna put carbonara on the docket, everybody, okay? That's gonna be happening. Olive Garden satisfies all the grandmas across the land. Exactly, Grandma loves Olive Garden. Don't hate Grandma for loving Olive Garden. Mrs. Quiddicus. I'm gonna go with Quiddicus, okay? That's my guess here for this trip. But welcome to Ingrediology. Happy Wednesday to you. We're just getting ready here to plate up our meatloaf. We've made a delicious mushroomy meatloaf here today on stream. We're gonna start by putting down a nice layer of potatoes. Think of these potatoes as like your foundation, right? This is gonna be the base for the rest. Oh, look at that. Oh, we can smooth it out, make it look even sexier. Let's try and plate this like a Michelin restaurant. Not. I got my gravy over here, guys. This is a mushroom gravy with Worcestershire beef stock, shallots, and it's so good. I wish you guys could smell this. I'm in California, so too early to cook along, but still watching. Deirdre, thank you for being here. And please don't take my smarmy comments to heart. I'm just hurt that nobody else wants to talk to me over here on Tastemade, you know? No. Yes, please. Boom. Boom. Height. Height is attractive in women and food, I always say. But Megan's 6 feet tall, so I'm a little biased there. Look at that. My wife makes carbonara once a week. It's good. That's awesome, CB. Lucky you. Getting carbonara once a week? Okay, sorry, I gotta go in for the money shot right here. There we go. Oof, I'd eat it. Eat your heart out. The hell out of here. Tell me anybody who would be eating my meatloaf right now. Damn, that looks good. Logan, our cook at work took a 10-second view of CJR making an okonomiyaki and said, "No way, beyond me." No thanks. Really? I do like okonomiyaki. That's good stuff. I've had it before. I think I've made it here on stream. No, we made ochazuke. We made ochazuke on stream, not okonomiyaki. Oh, man, guys. This looks good. I'd eat it, mushrooms and all. Wow. Wow. Guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that? CB, the mushroom hater, would have this mushroomy meatloaf. Wow. Thank you. I tried to chop them up fine for you. Needs a pile of ketchup on top with a side of sriracha. Get out of here, steak. I've had enough of your crap. Made it to the best part. Rose, welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you. Happy Wednesday to you. You're right, we just got done making this awesome mushroom-y meatloaf here on stream. Some creamy mashed potatoes, delicious mushroom-filled meatloaf. This is a This is a mushroom gravy that we have. Then, of course, you got to go with the classic and have a side of green peas with it. You know, don't mess with it. Don't mess with the best, okay? That looks so good. I just ate dinner, but that's making me hungry. Thank you, Chochi. Again, let me know about that sub and the beef out. All right, guys, we are gonna call it a day here on Ingrediology. You guys have made it here to the end. I really appreciate you coming out here on our Wednesday weeknight dinner. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. YouTube is where you can find the edited replays here of our classes. Be sure to visit ingrediology.org and seek out the class guides tab, because that's gonna have a list of all sorts of different recipes, which we've done here on stream, but they also include equipment lists, your recipe, a shopping list, nutritional information, everything that you need to know about this, and it's all entirely free. That's our point here on Ingrediology, is making this as accessible as possible for you to cook better meals at home for yourself and your loved ones, okay? If you'd like to support, you can go to ko-fi.com/Ingrediology. The link is down there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and that helps pay for website hosting fees, grocery bills, other equipment that we need here on stream, and other software that we use. And thank you in advance. We really appreciate you, and thank you to our subscribers who already support here on stream. Look out for April 9th. We're gonna be doing a special subscriber-only virtual cooking class where we're all gonna get together here in a video chat, and I'm gonna cook alongside with you, and we're gonna have a fun night. It's gonna be a fun Saturday on April 9th. We're gonna be making some chicken tinga tostadas, so look out for that. Now, who should we raid? My wife doesn't like mushrooms either, so I'd have to really chop them. Yeah, just put them in the food processor and blend them. Blend them real good. They'll never know. Glad to have come in on this one. That looks incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Squidicus. I think I'm doing that right, Squidicus. When the mods cooperate and work together. Exactly. We got a great mod team around here, so thank you again to our mods as well. Bubs, is Bubs on? I'll raid the hell out of Bubs. BBBUBBZ. UBBZ? There we go. Okay, I got it right. Guys, the chef that I'm sending you to over here on Twitch is an amazing guy. Bubs is out of Las Vegas now. He used to be in the Pacific Northwest, but his focus is on chef created meals, just like our channel is over here, but he also smoked a weed here at the same time. So if you're 420 friendly and just want to have a good time hanging out with a dude who really does it all and is just a nice guy all around, then stay tight here for the raid, hang out, say hi to Bubs for me, and I will see you here next week on Ingrediology, where next Wednesday we're doing the Italian dessert tiramisu. So if you'd like to make a delicious, rich mascarpone whipped with ladyfingers dipped in espresso and rub, be sure to join me back here on Wednesday, March 30th at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. All right? I'll see you there. Peace.